Today we're going to be making half a watermelon. So we're going to first start with putting our template onto a green piece of felt, going in and using our disappearing ink pen to outline the template. You will need 6 of these shapes in order to create this side of the watermelon. But once you have them outlined, move forward with cutting all those pieces out. Once we have all the pieces cut out, we're going to put those off to the side and move on to the design of the outside of the watermelon. Now we're going with this zigzaggy look. Now the zigzag does have a top and a bottom, so just keep that in mind when you're about to stitch it onto the side of the watermelon, okay? I'm going in and using a chalk pen with this because it's a dark piece of felt. It helps me to see my outline. Just make sure if you're going to use the chalk pen that you go very light with it, okay? You don't want it sinking through the felt onto the other side. So once you have those outlined, you'll go ahead and move on and cutting them out. You will need 6 of these zigzags. Once we have all the zigzags cut out, it's time to attach them to the side of the watermelon. So we're going to take the bottom of the zigzag and line it up to the tip of the side of the watermelon. So once you have it lined up, I will then go in and take a little bit of hot glue and tack it down just so that it doesn't move as I am stitching. And then from there, you're going to flip it around and you're going to cut off the extra top piece. And then it will be time to go in and stitch it to the side. So we're going to do matching thread and we're going to start on the back side. And we're going to take our needle and come up from the back along the edge of the dark green zigzag. And then from there, we're going to drop our needle into the dark green zigzag and push it back towards the back side and pull your thread all the way through. From there, you're going to move over just a little bit and do the exact same thing. Come up from the back side along the edge of the zigzag, drop your needle into the dark green, push it back towards the back side of the side piece. And then you're going to continue to do this stitch along the whole edge of the zigzag so that we're securing it to the side. But once we get to our last stitch, we're going to want to secure everything that we just did. So we're going to flip it over. We're going to run our needle through the felt, and then we're going to run our needle through that hoop, not once but twice, and then pull tight, which will create a knot in the thread and secure all our stitches that we just did. And then from there, we're just going to cut off the extra. You will continue this step on the remaining 5 sides, connecting the zigzag to each side. So this is what it will look like. And now we're going to start stitching them together. So we're going to be attaching the sides together inside out. So you're going to take your needle and push it through both pieces of felt, come up and over the edge, push your needle through the top piece, come up between the 2 pieces, and then pull tight. I'm going to do this stitch again in the same spot just to create a knot in the thread and make it really secure. But run your needle through that hoop and then pull tight. And then I'm going to move over just a little bit, push it through both pieces of felt, and then run your needle through that hoop and then pull tight. And you're going to, this is the start of your blanket stitch. You're going to blanket stitch along that whole edge until you get to the tip of the triangle or side piece. So once you've made it to the tip of the triangle, you're going to want to secure everything that you just did. So run that needle through that hoop, not once but twice, pull tight, but don't cut off the extra. Leave it there because you're going to continue your blanket stitch to add the 3rd side. But this is what it will look like on the outside. But then we're going to grab our 3rd piece and we're going to stitch it inside out like we did the first 2 pieces. So make sure that you line up your edges, and then you're going to take your needle and remaining thread, come up and over the edge, push it through both pieces of felt, run it through the hoop and then pull tight, and then continue your blanket stitch along that new edge, connecting the 3rd piece to the 2 other pieces. And then again, once you get back to the bottom of the piece, you will want to secure everything that you just did. So run your needle through your hoop, not once, but twice, pull tight, and then now cut off your extra. And then now we have one side of your watermelon done. With the 3 remaining pieces, you're going to do the same exact thing. okay, before we put them both together. So now we have both of our pieces done. It's time to put them together, but we still want to stitch them inside out, okay, so that the seams are flat when we turn it the right way. So again, you're going to match up your edges and you're going to start on one of the corners. You're going to take your needle and you're going to push it through both pieces of felt, come up and over the edge, push it through the top piece and come up between the two pieces, pull tight. And again, I'm going to do the same stitch again just to create a knot, push through both pieces, run it through the hoop this time, and then pull tight. And then you're going to move over just a little bit, push it through both pieces of felt again, run it through the hoop, and pull tight. And you're going to continue that blanket stitch along that whole edge, which will connect the two pieces together. Now, once I get to the bottom of the watermelon, pretty much the center of the watermelon, there's a lot of felt at this point when you're connecting it. So I want to make sure that there's not going to be any holes or gaps when I go to put in the polyfill. So I'm actually going to push my needle through all of the felt, run my needle through the hoop, not once but twice, pull tight, creating a knot. And then I'm going to do it again just to make sure that it's nice and secure on the bottom. And then once I've done two knots right in the center, I will continue my blanket stitch along the edge, connecting the two pieces together. So of course, once you get to the bottom, make sure you secure everything that you did, run your needle through that hoop, not once but twice, pull tight and cut off the extra. This is what it will look like when you're done. We're going to flip it the right way, and then we're going to start on the top part of the watermelon. So now we're going to take our template and put it onto a red piece of felt. I'm outlining it with my disappearing ink pen. Once you have it outlined, just go ahead and cut it out. And then we're going to move to the rind of the watermelon, and I'm outlining this onto a cream colored felt. You're going to want to cut out the outside of the circle first, and then you're going to cut out the center of the circle. Once we have it cut out, we're going to be placing it on top of the red circle. So once I have my edge down, I'm going in with my hot glue gun and just tacking it down so that it doesn't shift or move while I am stitching it to the red circle. Once we have that glued down, we're going to take our matching thread and needle, come up from the back side along the edge of the cream felt, and then pull your thread all the way through. Then you're going to drop your needle down into the cream felt and push it back towards the back side and pull it all the way through. You're doing the exact same stitch you did when we attached the zigzags to the side of the watermelon. You will continue this stitch along the whole edge of the circle. Once you get back to your first initial stitch, make sure that you're securing all your stitches by running your needle through that hoop not once but twice, and then cutting off the extra. Now that we have the edges attached, we're going to make the seeds. So I am using my chalk pen to outline 6 seeds onto a black felt. You can do as many seeds as you want, but for this size of watermelon, I thought 6 was a good number. Once you have your seeds cut out, we're just going to place them on the watermelon, make sure that they're nice and even as best you can. And then we're going to take our hot glue gun, glue them down, and then we will start to stitch those down as well. So again, we're going to take our matching thread, come up from the back side along the edge of the black felt, and then we're going to drop our needle into the black felt and push it towards the back side. You're going to continue this stitch along the whole edge of the seed, and then you're just going to move on to the next seed and the next and the next until all of them are stitched down. So once you have them all stitched down, just make sure that you are securing all your stitches, and then now it's time to add the cardstock. I normally add cardstock here, but I'm going to be adding something different, which is called Naked Flex Foam. The reason I'm adding this is because the cardstock was too noisy. It would do a lot of popping sounds, and I just wasn't a fan of it. So I'm using the foam, and I'm going to hot glue it down to the top of the watermelon. Now it's time to add the polyfill to the inside of the watermelon, and then we are adding the top and connecting it all together. So we're going to match up our edges, and then we're going to take our needle and we're going to push it through the side of the watermelon in between the two pieces, and then you're going to come up and over the edge, push your needle through the top of the watermelon this time, coming up between the two pieces, and then pull tight. This will be the start of your blanket stitch. move over a little bit, push it through all pieces of felt, and then run your needle through that hoop and then pull tight. You will continue to do this blanket stitch along that whole edge of the watermelon, which will connect the top piece to the side. Now, once you get about halfway closed, this is when we're going to want to stop and add some more polyfill. So you want to add enough polyfill so that the face of the watermelon isn't sunken into it. So just give a nice little amount in there so that it's not sunken down, and then you're going to just continue on with your blanket stitch. As I'm getting closer to my first initial stitch, I will throw in some more polyfill before I close up the hole. But I will go 2 to 3 stitches past my original stitch just to secure everything. And then again, run your needle through that hoop not once but twice, pull tight, run your needle through the watermelon, and then cut off the extra. And there you go, you have a cute little watermelon for your play kitchen. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Let me know if you guys have any questions. You can find the template and pre-made watermelons in my Etsy shop, which is linked in my bio.